This is by far the most important video that you need to watch as a musician, and I'm being serious when I say this. And that is because if you want to get any level of success, you need to have a good song. So in this video, I'm going to go through all the characteristics that make a song good, that make people enjoy a song. And you can use those checklists in your music so that you have something to go through to make you feel more confident about your song. Like, okay, this song I feel will have a greater chance of going viral because it ticks off all of these characteristics of viral music, of good music. So I've ranked these characteristics of good music in 3 different categories. And the first one is not so important characteristics, but still help. And the second category is pretty important. And the third category is extremely important, pretty much necessary. The reason why this is so important is because if you are trying to make a song blow up, you can do everything you want to do. $30,000 on influencer campaigns, which will get you about 100 videos with different influencers, $5,000 on ads, $500 on playlisting, $5,000 on a music video. If I spent $300,000 advertising shit, I take the bag of shit and try to sell it to someone after spending $300,000 on ads, no one's gonna buy it. It's the same thing with music. You're selling music. This is so important. People are wasting their time trying to learn how to market their music when their song is just ass and they don't even realize it. All right, so let's get into it. So as I've mentioned, we have 3 categories. The first one is not so important. The next one is pretty important. And the third one is absolutely necessary. So for not so important, the only characteristic that helps make a song sound better or more likable that is not so important is mastering. And I mean amazing mastering. And that's because if you do a good job with mixing, then your mastering, like you can get away with just using AI mastering and your song will still be alright. This is assuming, of course, that your mixing is good. So when it comes to mastering, this is like the final packaging of your song, right? So this is how your song sounds like when streamed. All the little details when it comes to managing the dynamics, making sure that your song doesn't have random EQs that just pierce your ears. The song just sounds smooth to listen to. If you nail all of these here, this isn't that important. It's good to have, but it's not like mandatory. It's just an addition. Let's move on to pretty important. So with this category of pretty important, this is what's going to differentiate you from the majority, from people who just make music and get like 10 monthly Spotify listeners. This is what differentiates you from the rest. That gets you out there, more recognized, more people are listening to your music. You perform better because you have these things ticked off. That's what pretty important is. And the first one is a catchy rhythm and/or hook. A catchy rhythm or hook. A catchy rhythm or hook is what's going to get stuck into people's head. And that's a goal with music. You want to have your song stuck in somebody's head. Think of the music that you listen to. They probably have a catchy rhythm or hook. Most songs, unfortunately, don't have that catchiness to it. And when you go through a song and you go like, oh damn, this is nice, it's usually because there's a catchy rhythm or hook. Pull out a song in your saved library and try to find a song that doesn't have a catchy rhythm or hook. And you will see how important this is. Now there are some acceptances. For example, if there is no real catchy rhythm in the vocals, the beat might be so damn good till it just carries the entire song, and we've seen that. Alright, so this is also important, a non-generic instrumental. So you want your instrumental to catch people off guard. And what I like to do often is, I'd actually find instrumentals that already have a lot of traction, or starting to get a lot of traction. Because if a lot of people like that beat, if a lot of artists like that beat, then listeners will like that instrumental as well. And then you can just make the song even better and sound complete with your vocals on top. The beat is so good, it's getting 100,000 views. Bro, all you have to do is just slap on your vocals on top. Use a non-generic instrumental, and what I mean by non-generic is non-common. This doesn't mean to use some experimental, out-of-the-blue alien instruments that sound nothing like hip-hop. It just means to not use instrumentals that bore people to death, okay? Non-generic. Now, the next thing that is pretty important, in matter of fact, it's in between these two, is good mixing. There's a few reasons why. If your song has really poor mixing, people are listening to well-mixed songs by professional artists and then they hear yours afterwards. That shock in quality difference is gonna make people just not want to listen to your song. Collecting the pieces, put them all together. And therefore, you're doing yourself a disservice because people are gonna click off your song within the first few seconds, which is extremely negative to the algorithm on Spotify. Spotify is gonna see that, okay, your song is just ass. I'm not gonna push your song out to more people because your mixing is horrible. We can go deeper into traits of bad mixing, okay? It's easier to find out what bad mixing is compared to good mixing. Unbalanced EQ. So your song might sound way too bright. It might sound like the 808s are just so loud you can't even hear the vocals properly.
fucking stew. Goonsy round 2. I got
Distortion. And don't say, oh, well, Playboy Carti does distortion. All right, he distorts his music professionally. I don't know how to explain it, but you can't just clip your music and call that distortion. Poor vocal dynamics. This is where your voice goes from loud to soft, and it makes people have to turn up and down the volume on their phone, and then turn it back down, and then turn it back up, and then turn it back down. This is probably the worst, the most irritating. There's a whole lot of things to take into account when it comes to good mixing, and simply all you need to do is pay attention to what good songs, well-mixed songs sound like, and actually learn about it on YouTube, okay? This is not a mixing class. Let's go to the next point. So the next point is pretty important, but I'd say it's the least important in this category. This is to have a good verse. Let me just give you an example so you understand what I'm talking about. Actually, now that I think about it, this is very important. Songs that have such a good chorus, but then the verse comes and you're just like, ugh, and you just skip it. There are so many songs like that. For me personally, an example of this is, what's that song? Tweaker by G3. Chorus was good, but when the verse came in, I'm just like, ugh, all right, skip. And I have that with quite a few songs. You want to make sure that your song sounds good from start to finish and not just a hook, because this will happen, especially when people get sick of hearing that shitty verse. They're just gonna skip your song after the chorus, and that's gonna be harmful for your song when it comes to the Spotify algorithm, because depending on when your chorus is in your song, let's say your chorus is from the start and it ends within 20 seconds. If people are skipping your song after hearing the chorus, then your song doesn't even count as a play, because a play on Spotify is when someone listens to your song for longer than 30 seconds. So if people are skipping your song before you even finish, before you even get to the verse because people hate the verse of your song, then your song's not even gonna be considered as a play, and that's gonna be negative for the Spotify algorithm, all right? So matter of fact, I say this is very important here, all right? Well, of course, this is more important. And then this is important. So the next category is absolutely necessary. And guys, I actually suggest you to start off here and then move down. Start off with what's absolutely necessary and check if your song has any of these things missing, and then move down the tier. First thing on absolutely necessary is out of key in vocals or beat. I've heard songs that have out of key 808s and I'm just like, damn, it's a shame. Why is the 808s out of key? I could listen to the song once or twice, but after that, I just can't listen to it anymore because the 808s are out of key. Another thing is out of key vocals. It sounds absolutely horrible. The number of times people have sent, like I've listened to music that people have sent me, the vocals are completely out of pitch. You can't be pitch deaf if you're a musician. You need to go to music training school or sign up for my mentorship services so that I can help you be more on pitch. Really, seriously, this is so important here because when something is out of key, it feels like there's a cockroach in your bedroom and you're just feeling eerie, all right? That's what it feels like. The next thing that is absolutely necessary is off-tempo elements. We like music, of course there's exceptions to this, but we like music because there's a rhythm to it, right? And then when there's something that's off key, like, it's not nice. And this is so off-putting as a listener. It makes a song completely unlistenable. It sounds like a meme song.
I'm with some winners in the fucking stew. Goonsy round 2. I'm with some winners in the fucking stew. Goonsy round 2. I got walk inside.
You will notice that whenever a song doesn't have these things here, it's considered a meme song. This is why you probably have less than 10 monthly Spotify listeners, is because out of key and out of tempo. So important, but I can't tell you the number of people that actually pay for my mentorship services, send me their music, and I listen to it, and I'm like, bro, your vocals are offbeat. How can someone listen to this? It's crazy. And this is essentially it. I've done this in my previous video. What I want you to do is comment a link down below to one of your songs, and I'm gonna go through 15 of them. If it's already reached 15 and you still want to comment your video down below, feel free to comment. I will get to it if I have time or when I have time. I'm sure I will have time eventually. Or somebody else can give you feedback. Guys, give each other feedback and go through the checklist and see if people have ticked them off, or be completely honest with people. And I'm gonna do that as well. If I listen to your song and I listen to the vocals and your vocals are offbeat, I'm gonna be like, bro, okay, this is why you probably don't have any streams. It's because you don't even tick off the mandatories. All right, on this topic of making your music sound better, if you're looking for help in terms of how to make your music more catchy, just feedback in general of your music, feedback with your content for, you know, your social media, or feedback in general, and you're just looking for advice, someone to actually help guide you through your music career, then I offer mentorship services. I have helped people that ranges from 0 to 1.5 million plus followers. I have helped a whole bunch of people, and if you are looking for more help to get you to where you want to be in your music career, then I am here for you. I've helped musicians go from 4,000 to 200,000+ followers on Instagram, as well as helping people grow from 20,000 to 80,000+ monthly Spotify listeners. And I do want to mention that we cannot accept everybody because we do have limited slots. And therefore, if you are keen, go ahead and apply down below, and I wish you luck. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.